UArizona is now asking their community to quarantine for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, important to point out, Heather, this is voluntary, but they are specifically targeting students who live in certain areas around campus. Our Brianna Whitney spoke to doctors about just how effective they think this might be.
In theory, doctors say this idea is great, but the problem is this is not a mandate. So doctors say actually getting students to do this is nearly impossible, but it still could help.
If they are able to do it and the students are compliant with it, it would eliminate the virus completely in that community. However, all bets are off once they open back up.
Monday, the University of Arizona asking students and staff to voluntarily quarantine for 14 days, except to get necessities like food and medical care if they can't be delivered. Dr. Andrew Carroll says U of A has the right idea, but how well it'll work is up to the students.
Mandatory would obviously be much more effective, but you're hopeful that these are college students, college educated people, staff members, everybody who understands what the goal is all about.
U of A's president specifically asking students living in dorms, fraternity and sorority houses, and apartments with more than 10 students to do this. According to the school's most recent COVID numbers, since July 31st, they've tested just under 25,000 students and staff for COVID, with more than 1,100 testing positive. Emergency medicine Dr. Frank Lavecchio says spread of the virus on these campuses was expected, but the silver lining is how healthy these college kids generally are.
It's very unlikely that any of them will get sick. It's very unlikely that any of them will be hospitalized, much less die. So I think they have that going.
And he says even if only some follow the voluntary quarantine, it could help slow the spread, no matter what.
I think it's the best approach, though, right now, is to try it.
With ASU also experiencing a growing number of COVID cases in their community, we asked if a voluntary quarantine is something they would try to implement too. But a university spokesperson says this is not an approach ASU has considered. Brianna Whitney for Arizona's Family.